This is Jose Trujillo, the world's greatest living artist. I'm here in my studio. And yeah, maybe let's finish some work. All right, let's finish some work, baby. Let's do some of this. Orange. Some purples. Look at that. My God, what an eye. What an eye. I got such a cool eye. What an eye. That's what my high school art teacher used to tell me. When he saw me draw for the first time, he's like, maybe you should try painting too. I was like, I wasn't that good at drawing. I think he could sense the looseness in my work, and so yeah, he gave me some paints. But before that, I started drawing a lot. I would draw a lot. This was early on. This was in junior high. It wasn't high school yet, because it was the same teacher. He moved on to the high school. And so in junior high, he saw that I liked painting, and I guess he saw that I was interested in painting or drawing. I did a little bit of painting, but mostly drawing. And that's what he told me when he first saw me do something at scale, larger drawings. He's like, Trujillo, what an eye, he said. And I don't think that again, he was a fan of the Impressionists, but I think he was more interested in the looseness, and so he took some interest in me. It's very important for people to have early on, I think, especially early on, to have mentors or people that take interest in their talents or the things that they are interested in, because it really shapes you. He made me believe that I could actually be a good artist. He made me believe that I could actually be an artist, and I could actually do it for a living early on. My high school teacher, my art high school teacher. So he made me believe that I was actually going to do this. Of course, I then moved on to from just painting to creating music and whatnot, but I never let go of painting, and it was always there. I wasn't doing it every day, but it was always there. It was always hovering around my life. And so I remember telling my friends and my wife too, it's so important to have someone, when you recognize someone's talent, those of you who are older, it's important to encourage that. I think it is. To water that seed and encourage it. Because whether they do it as a full-time living or not, it doesn't matter. I think painting is such an important thing. Any type of art, right? He said that I painted. I remember him telling me when I was in high school that I painted like an older artist. I was very sure of myself when I painted. It was almost as if it was if I had been a painter in a past life. And so that fed my spirit. And I started pursuing painting more seriously. Look at that. I just think it's very important. You have a family member, a niece, a nephew, children, that you see that they have an eye for this gig. I think it's important to encourage it. Something that I'm trying to communicate to artists right now in this phase in my life is to look at painting not just as painting, but as a discipline. As a discipline, it's not just a thing you do. As a matter of fact, you probably will never do it in a good way, or probably even get paid well for it, unless it becomes a discipline. Almost like a sport. Not almost like, no, like a sport. The same way that the same respect that a golfer practices every day without a professional golfer, right? Without skipping days. The same way that a professional swimmer does that. They train without missing their training. I think artists should be encouraged to train like athletes with their artwork without missing a beat. I really think that's the missing link. That's the secret. I get this question asked all the time from artists, like, how do you do to make sure that you're selling your work or you're exhibiting, or even when people ask me, oh man, how do you get your auctions to go so high on eBay? The secret is that there is no secret. It's just showing up. But most people don't show up, including myself. I've been very guilty of that. This is why I'm such a big proponent, because I see the difference. When I show up day in and day out, I see the difference in my not just in my artwork. It takes about a month, a couple of weeks or a month for me to start really seeing the difference in my artwork. But most importantly, it gives me a boost of confidence that I'm able to do it, and that I show up for it like an athlete would show up to their sport. And also, it's been very evident to me, without a shadow of a doubt, that is the reason also why I'm able to sell my work, yield higher prices at places like where it's almost impossible for many artists to yield a high price on an auction, especially in places like eBay. And it's because the work, when you do something every day, the work becomes mature. The work starts becoming mature. It's almost like you're cooking something, and it's taking a life of its own. It's becoming mature. Patrick says true. Yeah, absolutely. This is something that is very missed by many artists. I freely share this info, although I don't get paid for any of this info that I share. Uh, if anything, I create. Someone had told me a couple years ago, by sharing all this info that took you so much to learn, all you're doing is just creating more competition for yourself. And I don't really believe that, but it sounds funny, so every now and then I'll say it. If anything, I'm creating more competition, right? Or people are like, oh, okay, so I get his secret sauce. The dude just shows up. He doesn't really have anything that separates. I don't have more talent. I don't have I didn't go to such and such school. Nothing. I just make sure that I show up, and I try telling artists this. I just show up. That's all you need to do. It's such a simple thing, but it's such a difficult concept to grasp. Because showing up doesn't really it doesn't really show you the way right away. It takes time before it shows you the way. And so in the meantime, all you're really doing is pretty much just suffering, because you're working on your artwork day in and day out, whether you like it or not, or whether you think it's any good. You still have to work at it, and so that creates confusion for the mind. It becomes very confusing. Wait a minute, do I have to constantly show up to this thing? Even though it's not paying me anything, even though I don't see any progress. How long do I have to do this? So it feels counterintuitive. And it is. When you're doing it, it's very counterintuitive. Now, most of us think we do this thing every day, but most people don't really do it every day. We think we do it every day. What we do is that we do it most of the time. The people that do this for a living, they do it most of the time. The people that do it every day, you'll notice they start getting paid in one way or another. But they start getting paid either with attention. They start getting the gallery shows. They start getting whatever it is. They start getting fruits, and it's only the people that show up every day. It's been my experience, and I've seen this. Yeah, so when I started painting, family members, friends, they would tell me, dude, like that's not really a living. You can't, like, are you sure you want to do that? You can't really make a living as an artist. Artists are infamous for not making a living doing this. Even people tell me like, oh, how are you gonna do that? Still today. And I'm like, what do you mean, how am I going to do that? I've been a full-time artist for nearly a decade now. A friend of mine told me he was a professional guitarist. Bless his heart. He was a professional guitarist from Guadalajara, from where I'm from. But he lives here he was living here in Tucson, and that's what he would do. Be a professional guitarist, playing bands and whatnot here. He was when I met him, he was in his maybe in his 50s, 60s, he had a, and I met him in I met him in like the 90s or late 90s is when I met him. And I told him that I wanted to be a professional artist, but you know, friends and family would tell me that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I remember him looking at me and saying, "That's a lie." And I was like, what do you mean that's a lie? He's like, "That's a lie. Anything, you can do anything that you want to do." He's like, "There's no such thing as that. People that say that they can't do that thing for a living or whatever," he told me, I remember him telling me, they don't do it daily. They only do it when they feel like it. He's like, "I became a professional guitarist because I got my guitar and I started doing it daily." And I remember him telling me early on, when I was just a kid, he told me, you have to treat it the same way a soccer player treats his training. It's got to be daily. You have to treat it like a sport. If you don't treat it like a sport, it's not going to pay you. But if you treat it like a sport, it's going to start paying you. It was such an eye-opening thing for me. Well, thank you so much. It is a canyon. There we go. And so years later, I listened to this man's advice. It took me a while before I actually started implementing his advice. But eventually I started doing that. I need some purple. I'm out of purple. Now, not everybody wants to do this, of course, but some people do. And I want to be able to give them a little bit of hope. You know, just stick with it. I mean, but truly stick with it. Don't just stick with it as in, yeah, man, I've been sticking with it for 30 years. No, don't stick with it for 30 years like that. Stick with it every day. Don't stick with it for 30 years because you paint when you feel like it or you paint every weekend. My career changed the moment I started painting every day. How's it going, Alicia? Good to see you here. Dude, that's so loud. I'm gonna use some purple right here. See what happens. A little bit of purple.
It really didn't hurt. Sorry, Dad.
Okay. There we go. By the way, I will be having this painting available at auction tonight. It's going to be on eBay. And you can find the link in my profile here on Instagram. All right, let's start something else. Let's see what this looks like. It's noisy in here? Oh, it's very noisy. Yeah, this is not a romantic art studio. This is a very noisy place. I have a little dog here. My son is hanging out with me because we decided not to do the physical classes, right? So he's doing his classes online. So if he's online, that means that he's not going to school physically. He's here. So if he's here, well, I can't leave him home alone. I have to bring him with me to the studio. And so this is a very this is a working studio. I'm always so proud of this. This is a working studio. This is a studio where we get stuff done. He's playing with his skateboard right now. That's why you could hear the board. Let me hear. You need to take those now? Well, not now, but I mean.
I'm gonna work on getting these little single ones done real fast, and then.
Okay. So look at that. Very simple. Just a little. Ken Jocelyn says, how's your art selling on Etsy and Cherish? I don't mind if you don't mind me asking. No, yeah, it's selling fine. I mean, those are what do we call them?
Secondary.
Yeah, no, not just that, but those are stores, right? It's like a physical location. It's just online, but those are stores. When you put stuff in a store for it to sit there and sell, is exactly what it's going to do. That it's going to sit there. You know. So the artwork moves, the product moves. It's not. It doesn't move with the frequency of an auction. Also, the difference is that when I sell something on Etsy or on Cherish, it sells at a retail price. So the price point is very different. The price point is different, and it's not. This is something that I've tried communicate to artists. When you're selling something in a physical place or something that occupies shelf space, an auction is not something like that. An auction doesn't occupy shelf space. An auction is it's an event, and it goes by very fast. But also you run the risk of not getting anything near of what the product is worth. If you don't play your cards correctly, you get paid very little. And so there's a very big difference from a Cherish or an Etsy or a Saatchi art. Saatchi art is where I get most higher prices. But again, right, it's a store, and stores occupy shelf space, and product sits there, until someone really likes it and buys it. The trick to it is to stay busy. You want to stay as busy as possible, because you're upping your chances of selling something. Look at that. So in other words, what most artists do is that they'll paint something and then they'll put it on Etsy, and then they hope to sell it, or they just focus all their energy on Etsy. You know, they just focus everything there, and then they hope to sell, but it's not designed to do that unless you're giving it away. You know, it's not designed for the product to move. Even if you're giving it away, it's probably still not going to move, because it's not designed to do that. This is coming out nice. So it's like one of the reasons that I sell commissions. Some of my smaller commissions, I run specials on them, right? It's like, oh, you get this painting, but now you get this price. Well, the reason why is because I'm going to leave money on the table, but I'm gonna have the transaction, and what I'm counting on is the multiple transactions, not just one. And so most people sell stuff. Most artists sell stuff. If you talk to any artist, they're like, yeah, I sell stuff on Etsy, or yeah, I sell stuff on Cherish or on eBay or whatever. But the question is how often, how much, how often. Right? So there's another way of putting this. At what price point? At what price point and how often? Yeah, totally. So just to give you an example, some artists might say, man, I would never sell my paintings on Etsy for $300 a piece. I like to use that number because it's how I built some of the stuff that I've done in marketing. So some artists would be like, man, I wouldn't never sell that one of my paintings for $300 on Etsy. I just wouldn't do that. The painting, I can get it $1,000 in a gallery for that painting, for that size painting. So why would I sell it on Etsy for $300? Well, it might not make any sense to do it. But if you figure out how to sell that painting every single day on Etsy, it's a whole different ballgame. If that makes any sense. If you figure out how to sell a $300 painting on Etsy every single day, that's $10,000 a month. It's not too shabby. Or you could wait there and sell your $1,000 painting in a gallery, but how often? It's a what price point and how often? Those are the two main things to consider. And I've been giving all kinds of love today. Been dropping my wisdom. Yeah, for selling artwork, the key is to understand your numbers, You really have to understand your numbers. When it comes to selling, I think selling anything, but since we're talking about art here, you really have to know where your numbers are. Do they make sense? Do they not make sense? Now, if you're going to sell that painting for $300, but it takes you 3 days to make it, that's the wrong number. It might just be the wrong number. So you have to understand your numbers really well. Look at that. This is why coaching is so important, my friends. This is why I encourage people to figure out, who you can learn from. Talk to someone who's done it. Get some coaching. Don't be afraid of, oh my God, but this person charges me like how I talk about coaching. I charge $300 an hour. I amped it up now. But oh my God, this person it doesn't matter if they charge you $1,000. Because they might just take you from whatever you're earning to much more, simply by understanding a few points. Blind spots is what coaching does. It helps you figure out blind spots. Because unless you've done it, there's no way you're gonna know it. Unless you've done it yourself. I would have never think about that as an artist. I would have never thought about anything of what I'm talking about. It's not only until I started doing it that I was like, oh my God, there's all these things to consider that I had no idea about. Look at that. Look at that beauty.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
So there's this guy on TikTok who's learning a new trick every single day.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'm going to join him in that challenge because it sounds really fun.
Dude, I love that.
I'm going to try to learn how to reverb. So.
Yeah, this path of being an artist has so much uncertainty that it has so much uncertainty. When it comes to like knowing about it, like, oh, at what point do I keep working this way? When am I going to start getting paid? When do I get to start getting better at painting or exhibiting or whatever, right? It's got so much uncertainty, and I always scratch my head when people don't. Well, I know what it is. It's fear. It's uncertainty. But when people don't ask someone who's already been there, be like, hey, I'm in this situation. I think also people don't know how to ask the question. I would go to someone who's already doing it and be like, hey, dude, I'm in this situation right now. I want to get here. Okay, I'm in this situation. I'm making a few $100 a month selling my artwork. I want to get to $2,000, or I want to get to $5,000. What would you do in my case? That person may just tell you, yeah, I'll help you, but I would love to help you, but I don't have any time to walk you through that. Or they might be someone like me who's like, yeah, I'll help you, but this is my hourly fee. This is my hourly fee. And it's just such a weird thing because, and I've said this many times before. I guess I'll say it again. It's such a weird thing, but and the reason why it's weird is because people are like, oh my god, like how much do you charge to you know, give me some guidance? $1,000. Okay, let's say that you find someone who charges less. But let's say you decide to go with me, whatever reason. $1,000. Oh my god, $1,000. Yeah, but I'm asking for $1,000 to show you how to do 5K every month. It's to me it's a no-brainer, but I completely understand the fear because I've been there. I remember being there. I remember being there. But to me today is a no-brainer, right? I get coached today. I ask people, hey, I'm right here. What should I do to get over here? Oh, okay, Jose, cool. But it's, you know, X amount. I'll show you, Jose. I'll tell you what I would do. Business professionals, right? I'll tell you what I would do. But this is the price. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer because they're showing you people that have walked the walk. I'm not talking about go ask a random person. Of course not. Go ask someone who's walked the walk and who's doing it. More importantly, who's still doing it. Don't go with me. Go with someone you can afford, or go with someone that you feel trust with, but go ask someone, guys. Ask someone who's already done it. Stop trying to figure it out yourselves. That's my 2 cents on this. Stop trying to figure it out yourself. Ask someone who's done it.
I have a meeting.
Alicia says, or they could do your workshops. Totally. I love this. Patrick says, look like demon. I see all soul. Oh my God, Patrick, you got them special powers too? Every now and then I get people with special powers. I don't know what I'm doing. I just keep attracting people with special powers in my lives. All them special powers. I love that. I think I'm becoming a magnet for people with special powers. Little by little, I'm becoming a magnet. That's so funny. I had someone tell me that something similar to that. When was it? I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. A few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago. Look at that. Boom. I don't know how they find me. I don't know how the people with special powers find me, but they find me, man. Look at that. It's a nice painting right there. So yeah, guys, that's my thing. How's it going, Abby? Good to see you here. Man, it's gonna start getting chilly in no time. It's gonna start getting all kinds of chilies. Did you feel cold to me here? Got some ideas here.
Is that air off?
Yeah, you need it on?
So hot.
Really? Okay. Let me turn it on first. I'm start bringing a sweater because I get cold here. Start bringing a sweater now. All right, let's do another painting. Let's do uno más, baby. Uno más. Uno más. Put a There we go. All right, let's see. Let's do this thing. There we go. Yeah, I have some ideas. Nothing really concrete, but I have some ideas. Put some peonies. Peonies. Peonies? Is that how you pronounce it? Peonies. Some peonies right there. Boom. Now start putting some color in this pups. And this pup's named Scooby-Doo. Color's where it's at, my friends. Color. Color's where it's at. Look at that. Well, thanks so much. Super simple, okay? We're gonna do something super simple here. So I'm doing a little mixture of black, blue, and of course white. Now let's paint those wings, those wing stops. I'm gonna paint the chicken wing. But I gotta go back on TikTok. I gotta start doing some of my marketing on TikTok, man. Gotta show up on TikTok. Okay, those peonies are gonna be magenta-ish. Because that's how it's done around town. Look at that. Look at those peonies come out. Come to life. Whoops. Absolutely. What's that, Van? Van Anderson, what's happening? My God, this is good. This shows the power of the world's greatest living artist. Chicken wing, chicken wing. Oh, Patrick, why'd you have to get so dark on me, Patrick? Why are you talking about demons and shit? My goodness. Keep it light, Patrick. This is a family show, Patrick. Keep it light. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. It's a kick-ass painting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Sophia. Thank you, my friends. This is mucho bueno already. Look at that. Let's give it a little bit more depth in those peonies. Just like that. Now this is good. This is real good. Look at that. So I am going to auction this tonight. For those of you who are like, oh my God, I must have it. The auction will start at $1, and it's going to be on eBay. If you have a hard time finding this stuff, let me know. The link is in my profile, but let me know. And I'll be more than glad to send you a link or something to it. But it shouldn't be hard to find. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna keep the video short because I need to put it on YouTube, and if it's too long, it's going to not work. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Much love. Stay well. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. All right. Adios.